Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So, here it is. This is actually really exciting, actually. It's one of the things I've known existed, but I never actually went to go and look for it to show you. And when you see it, it's like, oh, wow, that's it, huh? So, on the top, the house is on the top, the one on the left. On the top left, the house that's red on the bottom with the white on the top, that is Smokey Robinson's childhood home on Belmont Street in Detroit, Michigan. That is where Michael Jackson was conceived. That's the house Michael Jackson was actually conceived in. So what it says here is it says Belmont Street, where Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross were neighbors. Smokey Robinson's childhood home was at 581 Belmont Street in Detroit. That's on the top picture. That's the house on the left, the one with the white on the top. The house on the bottom, Diana Ross grew up at 635 Belmont Street, where she lived until she was 14. The two met when they were 8 years old. Okay? So, I mean, they know each other. They know each other so well. But they don't just know each other. The big part of the story that people are missing that never gets thrown into there is that Smokey Robinson's mother died when he was 10 years old. He was living in that house. Okay, that's where he lived. Smokey Robinson had a sister that's 17 years older than him. Okay, so she's 27 years old at the time that Smokey Robinson's mother passed away. When he's only 10, she's 27. And she's married and she has children. One of her children is named Sharon Burston, and she's the same age as Diana Ross, and she's best friends with Diana Ross. So Diana Ross would have sleepovers at her friend Sharon Burston's house, but that's Smokey Robinson's house. Diana Ross lived just down the street from Smokey, so their families would have known each other. Like whoever lived in their house, that's their family. They all would have known each other. They lived just down the street. But Diana's also best friends with Smokey Robinson's niece, Sharon Burston. So they're in and out of each other's house all the time. It's one of those type of things. So Diana Ross would have sleepovers at her friend Sharon's house. While this is happening, Smokey Robinson's developing the band The Miracles, and in August of 1957, Smokey Robinson meets Berry Gordy, and that's where Motown starts. There is Berry Gordy. He doesn't meet Berry Gordy at Motown. Berry Gordy is not building Motown. Berry Gordy is still just a songwriter who's writing songs primarily for Jackie Wilson, who is an artist on the Brunswick record label. Smokey Robinson, when he goes to his first attempt to get a record deal, he goes to Brunswick Records because he's big fans of Jackie Wilson. And he's such big fans of Jackie Wilson's because Smokey Robinson's a songwriter. Smokey Robinson looks at the credits for the songs and stuff, and Smokey Robinson is very aware of the name Berry Gordy as the songwriter for his favorite artist, Jackie Wilson. Okay, so Smokey Robinson goes for an audition at Brunswick Records, and he is turned down. But just so happened to be there on that day, Berry Gordy was turning in some new material to Brunswick, some new songs he had written. He was turning in some new songs. He happened to be there at the time that Smokey was doing his audition, and he witnessed the audition, and he witnessed that Smokey was turned down by the Brunswick label. But Berry Gordy, knowing that he has visions of building a record company, he's learning the business, he knows what he needs. Is he needs a young artist who has the talent, who can sing, who can write songs, and he's got a band playing. He's got all of it, right? So Berry Gordy looked at that, and he saw that as something special. Even though the Brunswick was like, you're not what we're looking for, Berry looked at that and said, you're exactly what I'm looking for. Berry went after Smokey, and he's like, hey. And Smokey's like, who are you? Who are you? Like, who are you? What do you want? He didn't know who he was. They had never met before. And Berry Gordy says, hey, I'm Berry Gordy. And Smokey says, you're Berry Gordy, you're the songwriter for Jackie Wilson. So he instantly had a fondness for him, respected him. And they had a connection as songwriters and stuff, right? But that's how it starts. That's where it's, but when they met, they instantly started working together instantly. You're talking about like 3 or 4 months after that, Smokey's like recording songs The song Got a Job is recorded and released within 6 months of that time. Within 6 months of that first meeting, I know it's within 6 months, they've already got the song Got a Job, has been recorded and released on record and is getting airplay. Within 6 months of the meeting of Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson. That's how fast it happened. And then the rest is history. It turned into Motown. It happened. And then the big development of Motown is that there was a song called Shop Around, which I say the telling of Shop Around is when Smokey Robinson got Diana Ross pregnant and he's thinking about what should I do? And I think he pens this song like speaking to his mother in a situation like having this situation like he told his mother, this is what happened. And it's like his mother speaking from the grave, you know, kind of telling him, this is what that's the way it is. When he's saying, my mama told me to shop around, I think it has some, because his mother's dead, you know? So when he writes the words, but the song is about the telling of like, live your life. You're just a kid. Don't get committed to some little young tramp in the neighborhood just because she's cute and saying that she thinks she loves you. It's not real love. It's saying shop around. That's what the song Shop Around is, which is like, to me, is the understanding of where they decided to go ahead and abandon that child from Smokey and the Diana, and they went ahead in the acceptance of abandoning that child, which the child ends up being Michael Jackson, the child that they abandoned to the Jackson family, because Berry Gordy and Joseph Jackson are the same age, and they're old friends back from where it started in the Golden Gloves, and then pursued through the music and families and stuff, through their musical careers. But they're friends, and that's how then Berry Gordy, at the time when Berry Gordy realizes he's working with Smokey Robinson, and then he realizes, oh shoot, you just got some little 14-year-old girl in the neighborhood pregnant. And so Berry Gordy now, who's trying to build his company now, which becomes Motown, which later in life I've heard, it was like in the 80s or 90s, some point in my life, I did hear that Motown was the largest black-owned company in the world. Okay, when I keep trying to stress to people about that Berry Gordy's trying to build this company, and he knows what he's doing. He's trying to build a company with a super clean image, with really talented artists, but they're black. They're all black artists, right? So he's got a label with all black artists. So he wants their image to be really clean. And he wants them to be very respectful and to present themselves in a very proper way, because he wants to sell records to white people. He wants to take the black sound and the black image, and he wants to totally have it accepted into American white culture. And if he does that, he gets to sell all of his music and stuff. He knows that he can only go so far being black and being a black company and being black. He wants to be American. He wants to be worldwide. He wants to sell to everybody. And he knows in order to do that, because they are black, they're going to have to overachieve, which means they're going to have to be better than everybody else. Not only is their music going to have to be better than everybody else, their appearance and the way they present themselves is also going to have to match that. They have to be the best of the best. And if he can do that, he knows what he's doing. If he can do that, he can sell to white people. They can become Motown. That's what they did. But in the process of doing that, Smokey gets Diana pregnant, because Diana sees what's happening right here. It says Diana moved away from that house when she's 14. Okay, so if she's moving away from that house when she's 14, that's March 26. That means her family would have had to have been already having discussions about moving out of that neighborhood. So think about the reality of that time and place in that neighborhood in your Diana Ross. What happened exactly at that time? Smokey Robinson hooked up with Berry Gordy and is starting to record records. And Diana Ross is just about to move out of that neighborhood. She's about to lose that connection with living right next door to Smokey Robinson. What happened? She let Smokey Robinson fuck her, and she got pregnant. But she doesn't understand what Berry Gordy's plan is. She's just a young, dumb, little fucking slut, 14-year-old girl. Totally common, typical story. It's so fucking like typical. Dumb little fucking girl doesn't know what to offer the world, so she spreads her legs and lets some dude fuck her, hoping that can lead to some kind of greater achievement for her. Very, very common story with a young woman for them to do that. Very, very common. That's what she did. She saw that she was about to lose it all, her connection to Smokey, and everything was moving, and it was moving right past her, and she was going to be gone. What did she do? She did what all young, dumb little sluts do. They spread their legs and let some man fuck them. And you let them fuck you. Just right off of the bat, because I think women can like get pregnant like from half of the month. Okay, they're like, say they're on their period for 7 days, but then there's also the period where the egg is alive. A few days, there's more days there. There's not just the days, there's a few more days right there. So let's just say it was 10 days. Let's say it's 10 days out of a month that it's guaranteed that every 10 days out of a month that a woman is eligible to be pregnant. Well, then right there off of the bat, you're talking about that when Diana Ross had sex with Smokey, she was dealing with a 33% chance that she could get pregnant from that encounter. 33% chance is pretty damn good odds, you know? For me to say that he fucked her and she got pregnant. I'm not like going out on a limb saying that, oh, he fucked her and he got her pregnant. That's not a limb. That's not going out on a limb to say that that could have happened. We're talking about 33% chance that when he fucks her, he probably fucking gets her pregnant. You're talking like a 1 in 3 shot. That's like how fucking good of odds it was that he was going to get her pregnant that time that he has sex with her. Really good odds. And that's what happened. He got her pregnant, and Berry Gordy was not going to be able to accept Smokey having a kid from a 14-year-old girl in the neighborhood, and they make plans to get rid of that child. And they work it all out. They all made the deals, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. So Michael Jackson, the Gary, Indiana, okay, he's raised in that house, okay, but he's not born of the Jacksons, and he's not conceived of the Jacksons. So if you ever want to start from the beginning of what is the importance of Michael Jackson's life, it's that house right there on the top left. That is Smokey Robinson's house in Detroit on Belmont, right down the street from Diana Ross's house. That's where Diana Ross took her little fucking 14-year-old ass, slept the night over at Smokey Robinson's house. Diana Ross spread her legs, let Smokey Robinson fuck her because that's all she had to offer the world at that time. And she got pregnant, and what was spawned of it was a bastard love child, which we all know as Michael Jackson.